Millionaire catches his maid dancing ballet with his son. The next day, Michael Reynolds stopped at the door of Ethan's room, his 8-year-old son, unable to believe what his eyes were seeing. Jennifer, the maid he had hired just 3 months ago, was holding the boy's hands as they both performed ballet steps with a lightness he never imagined possible. "Daddy!" Ethan shouted when he saw him, but instead of his usual joy, there was fear in his eyes. Jennifer immediately let go of the boy's hands, her face flushed with shame. "Mr. Reynolds, I can explain." "No need." He cut her off, his voice icy. "We'll talk about this tomorrow." The night was long for Jennifer. She tossed and turned in the small maid's room at the back of the mansion, thinking about how she would pay next month's rent, how she would buy her mother's medicine. She had taken this job precisely because it paid well, even if it meant hiding who she really was. The next morning, Jennifer walked down the stairs of the Reynolds mansion with a heavy heart. Michael was already waiting for her in the living room, his impeccable suit a stark contrast to her simple uniform. "Sit down," he ordered, pointing to the armchair across from him. Jennifer obeyed, her hands trembling slightly. "Mr. Reynolds, I know I shouldn't have. How long have you been teaching my son ballet?" The question came dry, direct. "I wasn't teaching him, sir. Ethan saw me practicing alone the other day and asked me to show him a few steps. That's all it was." Michael stood up, walking to the window. "Jennifer, when I hired you, I made it clear I wanted someone to take care of the house, not to influence my son with—" He paused, searching for the words. "With those things." "Those things?" Jennifer couldn't hide the indignation in her voice. "Ballet isn't for boys." Michael turned, glaring at her. "Ethan needs to prepare to take over my business one day. He needs to be strong, decisive. I can't allow him to be happy," Jennifer interrupted, standing up as well. The silence that followed was heavy. Michael wasn't used to being challenged, especially by a maid. "You're fired," he finally said. "I want you gone by today." Jennifer felt the tears burning her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. "You're making a mistake. The mistake was mine for hiring you." She went upstairs to pack her few belongings, her heart breaking not because of the job but because of Ethan. The boy had a natural talent, a grace she rarely saw even in her former students at the academy. As she folded her clothes, she heard footsteps running down the hall. "Jennifer, Jennifer!" Ethan burst into the room in tears. "Daddy said you're leaving. Why?" She knelt down, hugging the boy. "Sometimes things just happen this way, my angel." "Was it because of ballet?" "Daddy doesn't like it when I dance. He says it's for girls." Jennifer cupped the boy's face in her hands. "Listen to me, Ethan. Dancing isn't for boys or girls. It's for those who have art in their hearts, and you have so much art inside you. But Daddy, your father loves you. He just needs to understand a few things still." Ethan hugged her tightly. "I don't want you to go." Jennifer swallowed her tears. She had to be strong for him. "I don't want to go either, but I have to. Promise me one thing." "What?" "Never let anyone dim the light inside you." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now, continuing. Michael watched from his office window as Jennifer walked out the back door carrying a single suitcase. Ethan was locked in his room, refusing to speak to him since learning about the firing. Michael, his mother, Mrs. Barbara, entered the office without knocking. "What's going on in this house?" "Ethan won't eat lunch." "I fired the housekeeper," he answered without turning around. "Jennifer, but why? She was so dedicated." "She was teaching Ethan ballet." Mrs. Barbara fell silent for a moment. And? "Mother, you know very well I can't allow that." "Do I?" She stepped closer to her son. "Michael, your father also thought you shouldn't study business. He wanted you to be an engineer like him. That's different, is it? You suffered so much to do what you loved. Why are you doing the same to Ethan?" Michael turned, irritated. "Because I know what's best for my son. Like your sister knew what was best for her daughter?" Mrs. Barbara hit the sorest spot. The businessman flinched, His sister Sarah had forbidden her daughter from studying music, and the girl had run away at 16. They hadn't heard from her in 5 years. Don't compare the situations, Mother. Son, did you see how happy Ethan was around Jennifer? How long has it been since you saw that smile on his face? It was true. Ever since the boy's mother had left, Ethan had been withdrawn, uninterested in anything. In recent weeks, Michael had noticed a change but hadn't connected the dots. Maybe I acted too hastily, he admitted, but it's already done. Nothing's done as long as there's time to fix it. Mrs. Barbara touched her son's shoulder. Think about it. Jennifer walked down Fifth Avenue, the harsh New York sun beating down on her back. She needed to find another job fast. She stopped in front of an office building, staring at her reflection in the glass. 5 years ago, she'd entered buildings like this through the front door as a respected teacher at the City Dance Academy. Today, she'd be looking for work through the service entrance. Her phone rang. It was her mother. Sweetheart, you okay? You sound down. I'm fine, Mom. I just had to leave my job. Again, Jennifer, what happened? Jennifer couldn't bring herself to tell the truth. Mrs. Patricia didn't understand why her daughter had given up a promising ballet career to work as a housekeeper. Disagreements with the boss, but I'll find another one soon. Sweetheart, why don't you go back to teaching? Silvana told me they need instructors at the new academy in the neighborhood. Mom, we've talked about this. I know, but it's been 2 years, Jennifer. You can't blame yourself forever. Jennifer hung up with some excuse. No, she couldn't go back to teaching. Not after what happened to little Emma. 3 days passed. Michael could barely focus on work. Ethan refused to speak to him, ate in silence, and spent his days locked in his room. The temporary housekeeper wasn't as attentive as Jennifer. The house felt colder, lifeless. It was Mrs. Barbara who took action. Where are you going? Michael asked, seeing his mother dressed to go out. To fix what you don't have the courage to fix. Mother, enough, Michael. You're destroying your son's happiness over foolish prejudices. I won't stand by and watch. Mrs. Barbara had gotten Jennifer's address from the doorman. She found out she lived in a modest neighborhood on the east side. The taxi stopped in front of a simple house with a peeling blue gate. Mrs. Patricia answered the door. Can I help you? Good afternoon, my name is Barbara Reynolds. I'm Michael's mother, Jennifer's former employer. Mrs. Patricia's expression hardened. What do you want here? Please, I need to speak with your daughter. It's about my grandson. After a moment's hesitation, Mrs. Patricia let her in. The house was simple but spotless. Jennifer appeared from the kitchen, surprised. Mrs. Barbara, how did you... We need to talk, dear. The 3 women sat in the small living room. Jennifer served coffee as Mrs. Barbara studied, the framed photos on the shelf. In many of them, a younger Jennifer appeared in ballet costumes, smiling, radiant. You were a professional ballerina. It wasn't a question. Jennifer lowered her eyes. I was. A long time ago. Jennifer was the principal dancer at Lincoln Center, Mrs. Patricia said proudly. She danced in all the major productions. Swan Lake, Giselle, The Nutcracker. Mom, please. Why did you stop? Mrs. Barbara asked gently. The silence stretched. It was Mrs. Patricia who answered. There was an accident. One of her students. She paused, seeing the pain on her daughter's face. I was a teacher at the City Dance Academy, Jennifer explained, her voice trembling. I had a student, Emma, 8 years old, talented like few others. One day she tried an advanced move without supervision. Before class started, she fell, fractured her spine. Mrs. Barbara brought a hand to her chest. The doctors said she'd never walk again. Her family blamed me, said I'd pushed her too hard, that I'd put too much pressure. Jennifer wiped away a tear. None of it was true, but how could I prove it? Emma confirmed her parents' version. I think she was afraid of disappointing them by admitting she'd broken the safety rules. Oh my God. I lost. My job, my reputation. No studio would hire me. And the worst is that Emma never danced again. Sometimes I think if I hadn't been so strict with the rules, if I'd arrived earlier that day, it wasn't your fault. Mrs. Barbara held Jennifer's hands. Accidents happen. Tell that to my heart. Jennifer tried to smile. That's why I work as a maid now. It's safer. No one gets hurt cleaning houses. But Ethan reminded me why I love teaching, Jennifer admitted. He has a light, a joy when he dances. I wasn't formally teaching him, Mrs. Barbara. I just showed him a few basic steps. I'd never put another child at risk. Mrs. Barbara fell silent, taking it all in. Jennifer, you need to come back. What? No, I can't. Your son was clear. My son is a stubborn fool repeating his father's mistakes. Ethan needs you, and I think you need him too. Mrs. Barbara, I appreciate the concern, but come to dinner with us tomorrow as a guest. Let me try to open Michael's eyes. Jennifer shook her head. It won't work. Men like him don't change their minds. Men like him need someone to make them see, and that someone is me, his mother. After Mrs. Barbara left, Jennifer grew thoughtful. Mrs. Patricia sat beside her. Maybe it's time you stopped running, dear. I'm not running, Mom. Aren't you? Then why did you hide that you were a ballerina? Why did you let yourself be treated as less than you are? Jennifer had no answer. The truth was, she'd grown used to living in the shadows, hiding her past, her talent. It was easier that way, less painful. The next day, Michael came home to find the table set for 4. Are we having guests? He asked his mother. Yes, and you'll behave. Mom, what are you up to? The doorbell rang before Mrs. Barbara could answer. Jennifer stepped in timidly, wearing a simple but elegant dress, nothing like her maid's uniform. Michael froze. There was something different about her. Her posture, the way she moved. It was like seeing another person. Jennifer. Ethan ran down the stairs and threw himself into her arms. Hi, sweetheart. She hugged him, fighting back tears. You came back. Dad, Jennifer's back. Michael cleared his throat. Jennifer is here as your grandmother's guest. Ethan. Dinner began tensely. Ethan chattered non-stop, recounting everything that had happened in the past few days. Michael ate in silence, avoiding Jennifer's gaze. Ethan, why don't you show Jennifer your drawings? Mrs. Barbara suggested. When they were alone, the woman turned to her son. Do you know who she is? Just a maid I fired. Jennifer Wilson, principal dancer at Lincoln Center, winner of 3 National Dance Awards, trained at Juilliard School of Dance. Michael? Reynolds nearly choked on his wine. Michael, you fired one of the greatest dancers in the country because she showed your son a few dance steps. Then why was she working as a maid? Because life sometimes puts us in situations we don't choose, Mrs. Barbara told Emma's story. Michael fell silent, processing everything. He remembered how Ethan had changed these past weeks, how he smiled more, seemed more confident. Even so, he finally said, I don't want my son involved with dance. Why? Jennifer had returned, and Ethan was in the kitchen fetching his drawings. Give me one real reason, Michael stared at her. Because the business world has no room for artistic sensitivity, because he needs to be strong. And who says dancers aren't strong? Jennifer stood up. Do you have any idea of the strength it takes to execute a grand jeté, the discipline to train 8 hours a day, the courage to step on stage in front of 1,000 people? It's not the same. You know what your problem is, Mr. Reynolds. Jennifer cut him off. You mistake sensitivity for weakness. You mistake art for frivolity. Your son has a gift, a special light, and you want to snuff it out. Why? Out of fear, prejudice. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. You had a father who never accepted your choices, and now you're doing the same to Ethan. Michael stood up, furious. You know nothing about my father. I know he wanted you to be an engineer. I know you had to fight hard just to study business. Mrs. Barbara told me. Mom, Michael shot an accusing look at Mrs. Barbara. It's true, son, you suffered so much. Why make Ethan suffer too? I'm protecting him. From what? Jennifer challenged. From joy? From art? From being who he really is? Ethan appeared in the doorway with his drawings, but froze when he saw the adults upset. Are you fighting about me again? The silence was heavy. Ethan walked up to his father. Dad, I know you don't like me dancing, but when I dance, I feel... The boy searched for words. I feel like Mom is close to me. Michael felt as if he'd been punched. His wife, Catherine, had loved dance. She was the one who played classical music at home, who danced with Ethan when he was a baby. Your mother, Michael's voice broke. Mom loved to dance. Remember when you two danced in the living room? I was little, but I remember after she went to heaven, you never danced again. You never played music at home. Jennifer and Mrs. Barbara exchanged glances, moved. I just wanted to feel her close again, Ethan continued. And when Jennifer taught me those steps, it was like Mom was there, smiling. Michael knelt before his son, tears finally breaking through his defenses. I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry. Father and son embraced. Jennifer made a quiet move to leave, but Mrs. Barbara held her arm. Jennifer, Michael stood, wiping his face. I owe you an apology. I was unfair, prejudiced. You were protecting your son the way you thought was right. No, I was afraid to see Catherine. In him, afraid to feel that pain again. Michael took a deep breath. Would you consider coming back? Not as a maid, as Ethan's teacher. Privately, of course. I'd pay... Michael, Jennifer gently interrupted. I'd love to teach Ethan, but I can't take money for it. Why? Because it would be like formally teaching again, and I'm not ready for that yet. What happened with Emma? Then come as a family friend, Mrs. Barbara suggested. Spend time with Ethan. Show him some steps when you feel comfortable. No pressure, no formality. Jennifer hesitated. Ethan stepped closer and took her hand. Please, Jennifer. I promise to be careful, to follow all the rules. How could she resist those hopeful eyes? All right, she relented, but with a few conditions. The following weeks brought a new routine to the Reynolds mansion. Jennifer came 3 times a week, always in the afternoon. They started slow, just stretches and basic positions. Michael, true to his word, had transformed one of the empty rooms into a dance studio, complete with mirrors and bars. At first he avoided watching. The memory of Catherine still hurt too much, but little by little, drawn by Ethan's laughter, he began peeking through the half-open door. Jennifer was a born teacher, patient, dedicated, but strict about safety. Ethan flourished under her guidance, not just in dance, but in confidence and joy. First position, Jennifer instructed. Heels together, toes turned out. Yes, perfect. Jennifer, when can I try that jump you showed me? When your legs are strong enough and you've mastered all the basic positions. Dance is like building a house, Ethan. We need a solid foundation. Michael smiled. It was exactly what he always said about business. One afternoon, he came home early and found Jennifer alone in the studio practicing. He froze in the doorway. She danced as if floating. Every movement poetry, every gesture full of emotion. When the music ended, she spotted him in the mirror. Sorry, I was waiting for Ethan and... Don't stop, Michael asked, please. Jennifer hesitated, then played another piece. This time, Michael recognized it, Catherine's favorite, the theme from Prokofiev's Romeo and Juliet. As Jennifer danced, Michael was transported. He saw Catherine dancing in that same room, pregnant with Ethan, radiant with happiness. He saw them dancing together, him clumsy, her patient and loving. Before he knew it, he was crying. Jennifer stopped, concerned. Michael, are you okay? Catherine loved this music, he said simply. I can change it. No, it's good to remember. I've been running from memories for too long. They sat in silence for a moment. She'd be happy, seeing Ethan dance, Jennifer said softly. She would, Michael agreed. Jennifer, can I ask you something? Of course. Why don't you dance professionally again? You have extraordinary talent. Jennifer sat on the floor, hugging her knees. Fear paralyzes you in strange ways. After what happened to Emma, I couldn't step on stage again. It's like every time I try, I see her lying on the floor, but it wasn't your fault. My head knows that, my heart... She shrugged. Maybe, Michael sat beside her. We both need to learn to stop letting fear control our lives. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us newcomers a lot. Now back to the story. Autumn arrived in New York, bringing chilly mornings and golden afternoons. The routine at the Reynolds mansion had settled into harmony. Jennifer wasn't just teaching Ethan ballet, She'd become part of the family. She dined with them at least once a week, helped Ethan with homework, and even Michael had begun consulting her on important decisions. "Jennifer, I need your opinion," he said one afternoon, entering the dance studio where she and Ethan were rehearsing. "Dad, we're in the middle of practice," Ethan protested. "Sorry, champ, this'll be quick." Michael turned to Jennifer. "I've been invited to sponsor a cultural event, a dance festival at Lincoln Center. Normally I'd decline, but..." Jennifer's eyes widened. "The Spring Dance Festival? That's the one. Do you know it?" "Know it? I danced in it for 5 years straight. It's one of the most important classical dance events in New York." "So, should I accept?" Jennifer hesitated. "It's a beautiful event. It gives opportunities to young talents." "Can I participate?" Ethan interrupted excitedly. "No, sweetheart," Jennifer replied quickly. "You're not ready for public performances yet. But I've been training so hard, and you're progressing wonderfully. But performances are another story. They take years of preparation." Ethan pouted but accepted. Michael noticed the tension in Jennifer's shoulders. "Are you sure I should sponsor it? I don't want to make you uncomfortable." "Don't be silly. It's a great opportunity to support the arts in the city. Catherine would be proud." The mention of his wife made him smile. It was true. Catherine would have been the first to encourage him. But fate had other plans. 2 weeks later, Michael came home to chaos. Mrs. Barbara was on the phone, Jennifer was pacing, and Ethan was crying on the couch. "What happened?" "Professor Diana, from the festival," Jennifer explained. "She saw Ethan dancing on the school's Instagram. Someone posted a video from the Mother's Day performance." Michael remembered. It had been Jennifer's idea to do a small show just for family and close friends. Ethan had danced a simple but touching piece. "And?" "She wants Ethan in the festival," Mrs. Barbara finished, "as a junior soloist in the opening performance." Michael felt his blood run cold. "Absolutely not." "Daddy, Ethan, you're 8 years old. You're not ready for something like this." "I agree," Jennifer surprised him. "It's too soon, too risky. But it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity," Mrs. Barbara argued. "Diana Thompson doesn't invite just anyone. She taught the greatest ballerinas in the country." "Including me," Jennifer murmured. Everyone turned to her. "Diana was my mentor," she explained. "She discovered me when I was 10, guided me through my entire career. That's why I'm saying no. She's wonderful but demanding to the extreme. Ethan isn't ready for that kind of pressure." "But I want to try," Ethan protested, through tears. "Jennifer, you always say I need to be brave. Bravery isn't throwing yourself into situations you're not prepared for." Jennifer knelt in front of him. "It's knowing when to wait for the right moment." "You're scared," Ethan accused her. "Scared because of that girl who got hurt." The silence was painful. Jennifer stood up slowly, her face pale. "Ethan," Michael scolded, "apologize right now." "But it's true. Grandma told me." The boy was worked up. "She's afraid to really teach me, afraid I'll get hurt like that other girl." Jennifer left the room without a word. Michael followed her, finding her in the garden, fighting back tears. "Jennifer, I'm sorry." He didn't know what he was saying. "Yes, he did," she replied, her voice shaking. "And he's right. I'm scared. Paralyzingly scared it'll happen again." "You're protecting him." "Am I? Or am I protecting myself?" Jennifer looked at him. "Michael, maybe it's better if I stop coming. Ethan needs a real teacher, someone who can take him as far as he deserves." "No, Jennifer, please. I'm holding him back because of my own trauma. That's not fair." "Jennifer." She was already walking away. Michael went back inside, finding Ethan still crying, now with remorse. "Daddy, I ruined everything. Let's give everyone some time to calm down," Michael suggested, though he was far from calm himself. The following days were hard. Jennifer didn't show up, didn't answer calls. Ethan was inconsolable. Michael was torn between protecting his son and respecting Jennifer's boundaries. It was Mrs. Barbara who took the initiative again. "I'll talk to Diana Thompson." "Mom, I don't think..." "That's enough, Michael. We need to understand this situation better before making any decisions." The meeting took place at the Lincoln Center itself. Diana Thompson, at 70 years old, carried herself like a queen, her eyes as sharp as an eagle's. "Mrs. Reynolds, what a pleasure to meet you. Michael, thank you for the sponsorship." After the initial pleasantries, Mrs. Barbara got straight to the point. "Professor Diana, about the invitation for Ethan." "Oh yes, the boy has remarkable raw talent. Who's his teacher?" "Jennifer Wilson," Michael answered. Diana's expression changed completely. "Jennifer? My Jennifer is teaching again?" "Informally," Mrs. Barbara explained. "She's been cautious." "That incident with the Anderson girl," Diana shook her head. "A tragedy. But Jennifer wasn't at fault. Emma was a difficult child, pushed too hard by her parents. What happened was only a matter of time." "You knew?" Michael was surprised. "Of course I knew. I tried to defend Jennifer, but the Andersons had too much influence." Diana sighed. "It was a great loss for dance. Jennifer wasn't just an exceptional ballerina, she was a born teacher, kind, patient, but strict where it mattered. She's afraid it might happen again," Mrs. Barbara said. "Understandable, but a shame." Diana stood up. "Tell Jennifer the invitation remains open, for the boy and for her. I'd love to have her back on stage, even if just as a teacher presenting, her student." On the way back, Michael was lost in thought. "What's on your mind, son?" "That Jennifer and I are more alike than I realized. Both held back by fear, keeping Ethan from soaring." "And what will you do?" "I don't know yet, Mom, but I have to do something." The answer came from an unexpected place. The next day, Michael received a call from an unknown number. "Mr. Reynolds, my name is Emma Anderson." Michael nearly dropped the phone. "Emma? Jennifer's student?" "Former student." The voice was young but firm. "I heard Jennifer is teaching." "Your son. I need to speak with her. And with you." They arranged to meet at a quiet cafe downtown. Michael expected to see a young woman in a wheelchair, but Emma arrived walking with only a slight limp. Surprised, she noticed his gaze. "The doctors were too. They said it was impossible, but I'm stubborn." "What? How?" 3 years of physical therapy, 2 of hydrotherapy, and a whole lot of determination to prove them wrong. Emma sat down. "Mr. Reynolds, I need to see Jennifer. She's going through a hard time. Because of me." Emma lowered her eyes. "I lied. That day Jennifer hadn't taught me that move. I saw it in a video. Wanted to impress the other girls. I broke every safety rule." Michael's chest tightened. "Why did you lie?" "Fear. My parents were already furious with me for not getting the lead role in the performance. If they knew I had disobeyed..." Emma wiped a tear. "I was a spoiled, cowardly child. I let Jennifer take the blame to protect myself. You need to tell her this." "I know. I've tried to find her for years, but she disappeared from the dance world. When I heard she was teaching your son..." Michael took out his phone. "I'll try to arrange a meeting, but I can't promise she'll agree." "I understand. Just tell her I dance again, not like before. I'll never do grand jetés again. But I dance. And it's thanks to her." "How so?" "The safety techniques she taught me, the importance of warming up, respecting the body's limits. Remembering those things during my recovery is how I made it back. She always said, 'Dance is your partner, not your enemy. Respect it, and it will respect you.'" Michael made a mental note. It was exactly the kind of thing Jennifer told Ethan. Convincing Jennifer to meet Emma was a battle. It took days of phone calls, messages, until Mrs. Patricia intervened. "Sweetheart, you need to face this. For your sake and for that girl's sake. She's not a girl anymore, Mom, and I don't want to hear accusations again." "What if they're not accusations? What if she wants to apologize?" Jennifer finally gave in. The meeting was set for a Saturday afternoon at the same cafe where Michael had met Emma. Michael and Mrs. Barbara accompanied Jennifer, who was visibly tense. When Emma walked in, Jennifer brought her hands to her mouth. You're walking." "Hi, teacher." Emma smiled timidly. "May I sit?" The two looked at each other silently for a long moment. Then Emma began to speak. She told everything. The truth about the accident, the years of recovery, the regret she carried. "I destroyed your career to protect my childish pride." Emma was crying now. "I don't expect forgiveness, but I needed you to know the truth." Jennifer was crying too. "Emma, All these years I blamed myself. I thought I'd failed you. No, you were the best teacher I ever had, the only one who truly cared about me as a person, not just as a dancer. Emma took Jennifer's hands. Teacher, I dance again. Not professionally, but I dance. I teach children with disabilities now. I teach them the way you taught me, with patience, love, and safety. The two embraced, crying years of guilt and regret. There's one more thing, Emma said as they pulled apart. My parents, and they'd like to apologize too, publicly if needed. They know they were unfair. Jennifer shook her head. It's not necessary. What's past is past. But your reputation, my reputation isn't what matters now. Jennifer looked at Michael. What matters is the future. On the way back, Jennifer seemed different. Lighter, as if a great weight had been lifted from her shoulders. Jennifer, Michael began, about the festival. I've been thinking, she interrupted. Ethan has talent, and more importantly, he has passion. It would be wrong to deny him this opportunity because of my fears. Are you saying that I accept the challenge? Let's prepare Ethan for the festival, but my way, safely, without excessive pressure. Jennifer, Mrs. Barbara hugged her. What wonderful news. There's one condition, Jennifer continued. I want it to be Ethan's decision too. He needs to understand what it means, the work it will take. When they shared the news with Ethan, the boy nearly burst with joy. But Jennifer made him sit and spoke seriously. Ethan, participating in the festival means training every day. It means giving up some playtime, free time. It means discipline and dedication. I know, I want to. And if you get hurt during practice, if you get too tired, you'll take care of me, Ethan said confidently. You'd never let anything bad happen. The boy's trust moved her deeply. Then it's decided, Michael said. We'll do this. Together. Preparations began the following Monday. Jennifer developed a careful training program, gradually increasing the intensity. Michael rearranged his schedule to attend practices whenever possible. The chosen piece was a 3-minute solo from the ballet, The Little Prince, perfect for Ethan's age and skill. Jennifer adapted the choreography, keeping the beauty but removing risky moves. It's not about impressing with tricks, she explained. It's about telling a story, touching hearts. Ethan threw himself into it. He woke up early to stretch, practiced positions while brushing his teeth, listened to the music until he memorized every note. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. 3 weeks before the festival, during rehearsal, Ethan pushed a move too hard and felt a sharp pain in his calf. Ow! He fell, clutching his leg. Jennifer ran to him, her face pale with worry. With practiced hands, she examined the muscle. It's just a cramp, she sighed in relief. But let's stop for today. No, I need to keep going. Ethan, the festival is in 3 weeks. I can't stop. Jennifer sat beside him. Remember what I always say. Dance is your partner, not your enemy. If you don't respect your body now, it won't help you on stage. Michael, who had arrived to watch, stepped in. Jennifer's right, son. Sometimes stepping back is the smartest way to move forward. Ethan reluctantly agreed. During the 3 days of forced rest, Jennifer worked on other aspects: facial expression, stage presence, musicality. Dancing isn't just moving your body, she taught. It's telling a story with every cell of your being. The minor injury served as a lesson. Ethan learned to listen to his body, to respect his limits. Jennifer, in turn, proved to herself she could handle surprises without panicking. 2 weeks before the festival, Diana Thompson came to watch a rehearsal. My goodness, she murmured, as she watched Ethan dance. Jennifer, you've done extraordinary work. He's naturally talented. Talent without proper guidance is nothing. You've shaped that talent masterfully. Diana turned to her. Consider returning to teaching. Officially. The dance world needs you. Jennifer didn't respond, but Michael saw a new sparkle in her eyes. A week before the festival, anxiety took over everyone. Ethan had nightmares. Jennifer obsessively checked every detail. Michael could barely focus. At work, it was Mrs. Barbara who brought calm. You're all forgetting the most important thing. It's not about being perfect. It's about Ethan doing what he loves, sharing that joy with others. She was right. They'd gotten lost in the pressure of the event, forgetting its essence. Let's do things differently, Jennifer proposed. No intensive rehearsals this week. Let's keep it light, focus on the joy of dancing. The change was visible. Ethan relaxed, began smiling again during rehearsals. Jennifer regained her lightness. Michael learned to appreciate the process, not just the result. On the Thursday before the festival, there was a dress rehearsal at the theater. Ethan stepped onto the stage for the first time and froze. "It's so big," he whispered. Jennifer knelt beside him. "Want to know a secret? The first time I danced here, I was your age. I was scared too. Know what my teacher told me?" "What?" "That the stage isn't bigger than our hearts when we dance with love." Ethan smiled. "My heart must be pretty big then." "Huge," Jennifer agreed. The rehearsal went well, not perfect, but well. Ethan adjusted to the space, the lighting, the grandeur of the theater. On the way home, Michael drove in silence, watching Jennifer and Ethan chat animatedly in the back seat. "Jennifer," he said suddenly, "thank you." "For what?" "For bringing music back into our home, for bringing joy back to Ethan, for reminding me that life is more than work and responsibilities." Jennifer smiled. "Catherine would be proud of both of you." The mention of his wife didn't hurt as it once had. Now it brought a sense of continuity, of a legacy being honored. On Friday, the eve of the festival, Jennifer proposed something unexpected. "No rehearsal today, let's do something different." She took them to a park where she'd prepared a picnic. They spent the afternoon talking, laughing, without mentioning dance or the festival. "Why are we doing this?" Ethan asked, curious. "Because tomorrow you'll give a piece of your soul on that stage," Jennifer explained. "Today, you need to fill that soul with good things." At sunset, sitting on the grass, Ethan nestled between Jennifer and Michael. "I'm scared," he admitted softly. "Me too," Jennifer confessed. "Me too," Michael added. "But we're going to do it anyway," Ethan asked. "Let's go," Jennifer squeezed his hand. "Because the best things in life happen when we do what we're afraid to do." The night before the festival, Michael couldn't sleep. He found Jennifer in the kitchen making tea. "Can't sleep either. I'm mentally rehearsing every step," she admitted. They sat in silence, sipping tea. "Jennifer, no matter what happens tomorrow, I want you to know you've changed our lives for the better." "You've changed mine too," she replied. "You reminded me why I love dancing, why I love teaching." "So are you going to accept Diana's offer? Teach officially again?" "Maybe. I'm considering it." Jennifer smiled. "One step at a time." Michael hesitated, then continued. "There's something else. These months with you, they weren't just about Ethan." Jennifer looked at him, waiting. "You brought light back into our home, not just as Ethan's teacher, but as a friend, as part of the family." "Michael, it's not..." He struggled with the words. "I just want you to know that no matter what happens with dancing, with teaching, you'll always have a place here with us." Jennifer's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you, you don't know how much that means." They sat in comfortable silence until Ethan appeared in the doorway, rubbing his eyes. "I can't sleep." Jennifer and Michael exchanged a glance and smiled. "Come here, champ," Michael called. "Let's have some hot chocolate and tell stories. Until sleep comes." The three of them stayed in the kitchen late into the night, Ethan between them, listening to stories of when Jennifer danced, of when Catherine was alive, of dreams and fears and hopes. It was more than the night before a performance. It was family being built, bonds being strengthened, love finding new ways to bloom. The day of the festival dawned clear and sunny. The Reynolds house was bustling from early morning. Mrs. Barbara supervised the preparations, checking every detail of Ethan's costume. "Grandma, it's too tight," Ethan complained as she adjusted it. "It has to be snug, my love. That's how dancers move with grace." Jennifer arrived early, carrying a special box. "What's that?" Ethan asked curiously. Open it and see. Inside were new ballet shoes, but not just any shoes. They had the initials ER delicately embroidered. Your first professional pair, Jennifer explained. Every dancer keeps their first pair forever. Ethan hugged the shoes as if they were treasure. There's one more thing. Jennifer pulled out a smaller box. This was mine. I wore it for my first big performance. It was a small star-shaped pin. For good luck, Ethan asked. To remind you that you're already a star. The stage just lets others see your light. Michael watched, moved. He cleared his throat. We have time, how about a big breakfast? But Ethan was too nervous to eat. He nibbled on toast while mentally reviewing the choreography. What if I forget the steps? He asked for the 10th time. Your body remembers, Jennifer assured him. Trust it. Around noon, they had an unexpected visitor. Emma Anderson arrived with a bouquet of flowers. I came to wish the new dancer good luck, she said with a smile. Ethan grew shy. He knew who Emma was, the whole story. You know, Ethan, Emma crouched to his level, Miss Jennifer taught me many things, but the most important was, dance with your heart, not your ego. What's ego? Ethan asked. It's when you want to impress others instead of expressing what you feel, Jennifer explained. Emma nodded. Today, don't dance to please anyone. Dance because you love it. After Emma left, Jennifer noticed Ethan was calmer. Sometimes hearing it from someone who'd been there made all the difference. By afternoon, the final preparations began. Michael had reserved a special dressing room for Ethan, complete with a star on the door bearing his name. Wow, Ethan exclaimed when he saw it. It's just like in the movies. While Jennifer helped Ethan with his final warm-up, Michael greeted the guests. He had invited some close friends and colleagues who knew about Ethan's journey. Michael, his business partner David, greeted him. Big day! I'm more nervous than I've ever been at any business presentation, Michael admitted. It's different when it's your own child, isn't it? David, a father of 3, understood. But from what you've told me, the boy is ready. Diana Thompson appeared backstage an hour before the show. How's our little dancer doing? Ready, Ethan answered, though his hands trembled slightly. Diana checked his posture and asked for a few movements. Excellent work, Jennifer. He's perfect. Ms. Diana, Jennifer called as she was about to leave. Thank you for believing in him, in me. My dear girl, Diana touched her face. I never stopped believing in you. I was just waiting for you to believe in yourself again. With 30 minutes left, the anxiety peaked. Ethan began hyperventilating. I can't do it. There are too many people. I'll mess everything up. Jennifer took him to a quiet corner. Breathe with me. In, out, like this. Jennifer, what if... Shh. Close your eyes. Jennifer guided his breathing. Remember that day in the park? The sun on our faces, the grass under our feet. Ethan nodded, eyes still closed. That's the feeling you'll take to the stage. It's not about being perfect. It's about sharing the joy dance brings you. Michael entered the dressing room. 5 minutes to places. Ethan opened his eyes, calmer now. I'm ready. Jennifer made the final adjustments to his costume. Michael knelt before his son. Ethan, no matter what happens out there, I'm already proud of you. Your mother would be too. Will she be watching from heaven? Ethan asked. I'm sure she will. Jennifer, Michael, and Mrs. Barbara took their seats in the audience. The theater was packed, the anticipation thick in the air. Can you see anything? Mrs. Barbara craned her neck. He'll enter from the left, Jennifer said, her own hands trembling. The lights dimmed. The announcer spoke. Opening our festival, a young talent discovered by our artistic director, Diana Thompson. At just 8 years old, Ethan Reynolds will grace us with his interpretation of The Little Prince. The music began. For a terrifying moment, nothing happened. Then Ethan stepped onto the stage, and time seemed to stop. He was no longer the shy boy Jennifer had first met. He was an artist telling a story with every movement. The choreography flowed naturally, as if he'd been born to dance those steps. Jennifer gripped Michael's hand without realizing it. Silent tears streamed down Mrs. Barbara's face. There was a moment in the middle of the performance. when Ethan was supposed to execute a small pirouette. During rehearsals, he sometimes lost his balance. Jennifer held her breath. Ethan performed the pirouette perfectly, but he didn't stop there. He added a little jump that wasn't part of the choreography, a spontaneous burst of pure joy. Jennifer smiled through her tears. He was dancing with his heart. The 3 minutes passed like 3 seconds. When the music ended and Ethan took his bow, the theater erupted in applause. "Bravo!" someone shouted. Ethan searched for Jennifer, in the crowd. When their eyes met, he smiled, that radiant smile she'd seen on the first day. The audience rose to their feet, a standing ovation for an 8-year-old at his first performance. Michael no longer tried to hide his tears. "My boy, my boy." Jennifer hugged him, both crying with emotion and pride. When Ethan left the stage, they rushed backstage. The boy threw himself into their arms. I did it! You were perfect!" Jennifer hugged him tightly. "That leap at the end, I felt like it," Ethan explained. "It was like Mom was dancing with me." Michael swallowed hard, embracing his son. "She was, champ, she was." Diana appeared, beaming. "Little Ethan, you have a bright future ahead, if you want it, of course." "I do," Ethan answered without hesitation. "Will Jennifer keep teaching me?" Everyone looked at Jennifer. "If you'll have me," she began. "We will," Ethan and Michael replied in unison, making everyone laugh. "Then I guess I have no choice," Jennifer smiled. The rest of the festival was a blur. Ethan watched other performances, mesmerized by the professional dancers. He received compliments, took photos, and basked in his moment of glory. But the most special moment came at the end of the night. Michael had prepared a surprise. He took everyone to the theater's terrace, where he had set up a small private dinner. "A toast," he proposed, raising his glass. "To Ethan for his courage, to Jennifer for her dedication, to my mother for her wisdom, and to Catherine, who dances in our hearts." "To Catherine," everyone repeated, as they dined under the stars. Ethan fell asleep, exhausted by the day's emotions. Jennifer covered him with her shawl. "You know," Michael said softly, "today I understood something." "What?" "That fear only has the power we give it." Ethan taught me that. "You taught me that." Jennifer smiled. "We all learned together." Mrs. Barbara, ever observant, noticed the way they looked at each other. She smiled discreetly. Some things needed time to blossom, like dance, like love. The night grew cooler, but no one wanted to leave. It was one of those perfect moments you wished could last forever. "Jennifer," Ethan murmured sleepily, "can we start preparing for the next festival tomorrow?" Everyone laughed. "One day at a time, little dancer." Jennifer kissed his forehead. "One day at a time." But Michael noticed she didn't say no. The future stretched before them, full of possibilities. Fears had been conquered, barriers broken. That night, under the stars of New York, with the music still echoing in their hearts, they weren't employer and employee, teacher and student. They were family. A family bound by dance, by perseverance, by love. And this was only the beginning. The days after the festival brought a new routine. Ethan was over the moon, recounting every moment to anyone who would listen. Jennifer resumed, training, but now with a different perspective. "We need to be careful," she warned in a meeting with Michael. "Early success can be as dangerous as failure." "What do you suggest?" "Keeping him grounded, continuing disciplined training, but no pressure for immediate new performances." Michael agreed. They had learned the importance of balance, but not everything would be smooth. One Wednesday afternoon, Michael came home to find a stranger talking to Jennifer in the garden. Tall, well-dressed, with an air of authority. "Michael," Jennifer stood up tensely. "This is Robert Anderson, Emma's father." Michael felt his blood run cold. The man who had destroyed Jennifer's career. "Mr. Reynolds," Robert extended his hand. "I need to speak with both of you." Reluctantly, Michael invited him inside. They sat in the living room, the tension thick. "I'll get straight to the point," Robert began. "I came to apologize and to make an offer." Jennifer stiffened. "Mr. Anderson, please let me speak." Robert took a deep breath. "I was wrong, completely wrong. My Pride? My stubbornness? I ruined your career to protect my family's image. Why now? Michael questioned protectively. Emma told me the truth. After years of therapy, she finally could. Robert looked like he'd aged 10 years. Finding out I forced my daughter to lie, that I destroyed an innocent... What's done is done, Jennifer said calmly. It doesn't have to be. Robert pulled some documents from his briefcase. I'm willing to make a public statement. Clear your name completely and more. He showed her the papers, a proposal for Jennifer to take over as director of a new dance school he was funding. It's the least I can do, Robert continued. I know money doesn't erase the past, but... No, Jennifer interrupted. Jennifer, Michael began, maybe you should consider... I don't need his charity, Jennifer stood. Mr. Anderson, I appreciate the gesture, but I've built a new life. I don't need reparations. It's not charity, Robert insisted. It's justice and opportunity. Think of how many children could benefit from your talent. I already have a student. Jennifer looked out the window, where Ethan was practicing, in the garden. That's enough. Robert left the documents on the table. Think about it, the offer stands. After he left, Michael and Jennifer sat in silence. You should accept, Michael finally said. Why? To clear my name. I don't need that. To give other children what you're giving, Ethan. Jennifer stared at him. Do you want me to leave? No, Michael answered too quickly. Never. I just think you have so much to offer the world. Jennifer sat, thoughtful. Maybe, but not like this. Not as payment for guilt. If I go back to teaching professionally, it'll be on my terms. That evening at dinner, Ethan noticed the strange mood. Did something happen? Jennifer and Michael exchanged glances. Nothing important, champ, Michael answered. But Mrs. Barbara, ever perceptive, didn't let it slide. Ethan, sweetheart, why don't you go practice a little before bed? When the boy left, she turned to them. Now tell me what really happened. They explained about Robert Anderson and the proposal. Mrs. Barbara listened carefully. Jennifer, may I give my opinion? Of course, Mrs. Barbara. You have a gift, not just for dancing, but for teaching, for inspiring. I've seen it with Ethan. It would be selfish to keep that gift just for us. But Ethan, he'll always be special to you. Your first student after the storm, but think of how many other Ethans are out there, waiting for someone to believe in them. Jennifer's eyes filled with tears. I'm scared. What if it happens again? What if it doesn't? Mrs. Barbara took her hands. What if you change dozens of children's lives for the better? Michael watched silently. He wanted Jennifer nearby, but knew it would be selfish to hold her back. Whatever you decide, he said finally, you'll have our support, always. The following days were filled with deep reflection for Jennifer. She kept her routine with Ethan, but everyone noticed her distant thoughts. It was Ethan who pushed her to decide. Jennifer, are you sad? No, sweetheart, why? You dance differently when you're sad. The child's perception surprised her. I'm making an important decision. About what? Jennifer hesitated, then chose honesty. About teaching other children again. Ethan was quiet for a moment. Will you stop teaching me? Never, you'll always be my special student. Then I think it's good. Ethan smiled. Other kids need to learn how to be happy dancing too. The simplicity of his answer moved Jennifer deeply. That night, she called Emma Anderson. I need your help with something. The following Saturday, Jennifer organized an open class at the community center in the neighborhood. Emma had spread the word, and about 15 curious children showed up. Michael and Ethan came to watch. Jennifer was nervous, but as soon as the music started, the natural teacher emerged. Dancing is telling stories with your body, she explained. Each of you has a unique story to tell. The children, shy at first, gradually began to loosen up. Jennifer adjusted the movements for each level, encouraging without pressure, correcting with kindness. Ethan watched proudly. She's the best teacher in the world, he whispered to his father. Michael agreed. But more than that, he saw Jennifer, radiant in her element. It was as if a part of her, dormant for years, had awakened. After the class, several mothers approached. Do you offer regular classes? Where is your school? My daughter loved it. Jennifer looked at Michael, who smiled encouragingly. For now it was just a trial class, she replied, but I'm considering opening a small school. The buzz of excitement was immediate. On the way back, Ethan skipped along. Did you see how much they liked it? You have to teach them too. Jennifer, but what about our training? We'll keep going, Ethan assured her, but now you can make other kids happy too. Michael drove in silence, admiring his son's generosity. Catherine would be so proud. Jennifer, he said, if you decide to open a school, count on me. For whatever you need. Michael, I can't accept, not as charity, as an investment, he smiled. I'm a businessman, remember? I know a good opportunity when I see one. Jennifer was moved. You two, you've changed my life. The feeling's mutual, Michael assured her. That night, Jennifer couldn't sleep. She stayed on her porch gazing at the stars, thinking about how life takes unexpected turns. Her phone rang. It was a message from Diana Thompson. Heard about today's class. I always said you were born to teach. If you need help, I'm here. The world needs more Jennifers. Tears came, but they were good tears. Of gratitude, of hope, of new beginnings. On Sunday, Jennifer had breakfast with her mother. So are you taking Anderson's offer? No. Jennifer smiled at her mother's surprise. I'm opening my own school, small my way. Michael offered. To help. Mrs. Patricia smiled. That Michael, he's a good man. Mom, just saying. She winked. A man who supports our dreams is rare. Jennifer blushed but didn't deny it. Something was growing there, something beyond gratitude. On Monday, Jennifer arrived at the Reynolds mansion with a folder full of plans. We need to talk, she announced. Michael, Mrs. Barbara, and Ethan gathered in the living room. I've decided to open a small dance school, Jennifer began. Nothing grand, just a space where kids can learn safely and joyfully. How wonderful, Mrs. Barbara exclaimed. But, Jennifer continued, I don't want to abandon Ethan, so I came up with a solution. She showed the plans. The school would run 3 afternoons a week. The other 2 afternoons and Saturday mornings would be dedicated to Ethan and other advanced students. This way I can keep working with you and still help other children, she explained. Perfect, Ethan approved. Can I help with the younger kids? When you're more experienced, you can be my assistant, Jennifer promised. Michael reviewed the papers. You've thought of everything. Location, structure, even the schedule. Only one thing's missing, Jennifer hesitated. The courage to take the next step. Michael took her hand. You have more than enough courage. You've proven it every day since you arrived. The touch lasted just a moment, but it was enough for both to feel the connection. Then it's decided, Mrs. Barbara broke the moment. We're going to have a dance school. The following weeks were filled with intense preparation. Michael handled the paperwork, Mrs. Barbara took care of publicity, and Ethan brought contagious enthusiasm. They found the perfect space, an old event hall that could be transformed. It wasn't in the best neighborhood, but it was accessible to children from different social backgrounds. It's important that dance isn't a privilege, Jennifer explained. The renovations began. Michael appeared whenever he could, bringing lunch, helping wherever possible. On one of those days, while they painted the walls together, Ethan made an innocent observation. It feels like we're a real family, doesn't it? Jennifer and Michael exchanged glances, both covered in paint, and laughed. Yeah, it really does, Michael agreed, his gaze lingering on Jennifer. The opening was scheduled for a Saturday. Jennifer was as nervous as she had been since her last professional performance. What if no one shows up? She asked for the 10th. Tainheim. They will, Michael assured her. Trust me. And they did. Not just the kids from the trial class, but dozens of others. Emma brought some students with disabilities. Diana Thompson arrived with flowers. Even Robert Anderson came, discreetly leaving an anonymous donation. Jennifer gave a short speech, her voice trembling. This school is born from a dream, the dream that every child deserves to discover the magic of dance. Here, we don't just train dancers. We shape confident, disciplined individuals who can express their souls through movement. Every child is unique, she continued, and each one will be respected for their individuality. The Hope Dance School is open to all who wish to dance with their hearts. The name had been Ethan's suggestion. Because you brought hope to me, he had said. The first official class was emotional. Jennifer divided the children by age and skill level. Ethan helped by demonstrating basic moves for the younger ones. Michael watched from a corner, his chest swelling with pride. He saw Jennifer turn shy children into confident little artists. He saw Ethan grow not just as a dancer, but as a person. But not everything was perfect. After a month, the first challenges arose. Some parents complained Jennifer was too strict about safety. Others wanted their children to progress faster. I can't compromise on this, Jennifer told Michael on a tough evening. Safety comes first, always. And you're right, Michael supported her. Don't change your principles because of pressure. There was one particularly difficult afternoon. An aggressive mother accused Jennifer of holding back her daughter. She has talent for more, you're limiting her. Jennifer stayed calm. Mrs. Johnson, Olivia is 7. She's progressing beautifully at a pace suited to her age and physical development. You lost one student for being too cautious. I won't let it happen to my daughter. The blow was low. Jennifer paled. It was Michael who had come to pick up Ethan who stepped in. You're mistaken. Jennifer didn't lose a student. She saved a child from irresponsible parents who put ego above safety. Who are you to? Someone who entrusts the most precious thing in his life to Jennifer's care. Michael placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. If you don't trust her, maybe you should find another school. The woman stormed off. Jennifer was shaking. Thank you, she murmured. Always, Michael replied simply. That night, Jennifer almost gave up. It was Ethan who changed her mind. Jennifer, do you know what Olivia told me today? That you're the first teacher who asks if she's in pain. The others just told her to push through. That was what it was all about. Care, attention, respect for the child above all. The school continued. With challenges, yes, but also with many joys. Children who arrived hunched in shyness, left with the posture of dancers. Boys who were teased for liking dance found a safe space. Ethan remained the star student, but without arrogance. Jennifer made sure he stayed humble, helping others, setting an example. 3 months after the opening, something unexpected happened. Jennifer was closing up after the last class when she heard music coming from the studio. She walked in to find Michael clumsily dancing with Ethan. Dad's learning, Ethan laughed. Michael stopped, embarrassed. Ethan insisted. Don't stop, Jennifer smiled. Let me help. She stepped closer, adjusting Michael's posture. Shoulders back, center of gravity here. The proximity was electric. Her hands on his shoulders, her perfume. Like this? Michael asked, his voice rough. Perfect. Jennifer stepped back, blushing. Ethan, oblivious to the tension, kept chattering. Daddy said he wants to dance with me at the end of year show. Show? Jennifer questioned. Michael scratched his head. I thought, maybe the school could put on a small performance. Nothing fancy, just so families can see. The kids' progress. Jennifer considered it. It could be a good idea, but only if it's no pressure, just celebrating what they've learned. Of course, Ethan jumped. It'll be amazing. The preparations began. Each class would prepare a short performance. Ethan would do a solo and a duet with Michael. I'll need a lot of private lessons, Michael joked. I can arrange a schedule, Jennifer replied, perhaps too quickly. Michael's private lessons became the highlight of Jennifer's week. He was dedicated, hard-working, and surprisingly graceful for someone with no experience. You have natural talent, she remarked after a particularly good session. I have a good teacher, he answered, holding her gaze. The moment lingered, full of possibilities. Then Ethan came running in. Grandma says dinner's ready. Jennifer, are you staying? It was Thursday. Jennifer usually had dinner with them on Thursdays. If it's not a bother, never is, Michael assured. Dinner was lively, with Ethan demonstrating the steps the younger kids were learning. Mrs. Barbara watched Jennifer and Michael with knowing eyes. Jennifer, dear? she said during dessert. You look tired. A little. End of the semester is always busy. You need to take care of yourself too, Mrs. Barbara insisted. Michael, why don't you take Jennifer out to dinner one of these days? She deserves a break. The awkward silence was broken by Ethan. Great idea, you can go to that fancy restaurant Daddy likes. Jennifer and Michael blushed. If Jennifer wants, Michael began. It would be nice, Jennifer agreed softly. Mrs. Barbara smiled, satisfied. Sometimes people needed a little push. The dinner was set for the following Saturday. Jennifer spent the week as nervous as a teenager. Mom, what should I wear? She asked for the 10th time. The blue dress, Mrs. Patricia suggested. It brings out your eyes. Isn't it too much? Sweetheart, her mother took her hands. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to live, not just exist. Jennifer knew she was right. Since Emma's accident, she had been living half a life, always afraid. But Michael and Ethan had shown her it was worth taking the risk. Michael was equally nervous. He changed clothes 3 times. Dad, it's just dinner, Ethan said, confused by the fuss. It's an important dinner, Michael corrected. Why? How could he explain to an 8-year-old that he was falling in love with the ballet teacher? Because Jennifer is special, he said simply. Oh, I already knew that, Ethan agreed. You should get married, Michael choked. Ethan, what? It'd be cool, Jennifer's practically family already. Out of the mouths of babes, dinner was at Michael's favorite restaurant, overlooking the New York skyline. Jennifer looked stunning in the blue dress. You look, Michael searched for words. Beautiful doesn't cover it, Jennifer blushed. Thank you. You look very handsome too. The conversation flowed naturally. They talked about the school, about Ethan, about dreams and fears. You know, Michael said during the main course, you taught me something important. What? That protecting too much can smother, that sometimes we need to let the people we love spread their wings. Ethan, Ted's lucky to have you as his father, Jennifer said softly. I was lucky to find you, Michael replied. You brought music back into our lives. You brought color, movement, joy. Michael, let me finish, he asked. Jennifer, Ethan and I, and my mother too, you've become essential to us, not just as a teacher, but as what? Jennifer asked, her heart racing. Michael took her hand across the table. As someone I'd like to have in our lives always, in every possible way. Jennifer had tears in her eyes. I feel that too, but it's complicated. I'm Ethan's teacher. You're so much more than that, Michael squeezed her hand. You're the woman who saved my son from sadness, who saved me from bitterness, who brought hope when we thought there was none left. I'm afraid, Jennifer admitted, of ruining everything, of not being enough. You're more than enough, Michael assured her. You're extraordinary. They held hands, gazing at the illuminated city, letting the feeling grow between them. Can we take it slow? Jennifer asked. For Ethan's sake, for the situation. All the time you need, Michael promised. I just need to know there's a possibility. There is, Jennifer smiled. There definitely is. The way back was a comfortable silence. Michael walked her to the door. Thank you for a wonderful evening, Jennifer said. Can we do it again? I'd like that. There was a moment of hesitation. Then Michael leaned in and gently kissed her cheek. Good night, Jennifer. Good night, Michael. Jennifer stepped inside, feeling like she was floating. Mrs. Patricia was waiting up for her. So? It was perfect, Mom. He's perfect. Finally, the older woman celebrated. It was about time you two realized the obvious. The following weeks brought us sweet tension. Michael and Jennifer kept things discreet, but the glances, casual touches, and knowing smiles didn't go unnoticed. Surprisingly, Ethan was the one who gave the final push. Jennifer, he said one day after class, do you like my dad? Jennifer nearly dropped her water bottle. Why do you ask? Because he's happy when you're around, and you are too. Ethan, it's okay if you two date, the boy continued. I'd like that. A lot. Jennifer hugged him, moved. You're A very special boy, you know that? I learned from the best, he smiled. The end-of-year performance was approaching. The school was buzzing with rehearsals, costumes, and sets. Jennifer coordinated everything masterfully, but the stress was visible. You need to rest, Michael insisted one afternoon. After the performance, I'll rest. Jennifer, I'm fine, Michael. It's just a lot of responsibility. All these parents trusting their children to me. Michael pulled her into a hug. They were alone in the schoolroom. You're amazing, the kids are ready, everything will be fine. Jennifer relaxed in his arms. What would I do without you? We'll never have to find out, he murmured against her hair. They stayed like that for a long moment until footsteps echoed in the hallway. They separated, but the moment of closeness strengthened their bond. The night of the performance arrived. The small rented theater was packed with eager families. Jennifer was backstage, checking every detail. Breathe, Michael appeared beside her. You've done an incredible job. What if something goes wrong? What if a child gets hurt? They won't. You prepared them well. Trust them. Trust yourself. Jennifer took a deep breath. He was right. The performance was a success. Each class shone in their routine. The younger children charmed with their spontaneity, the older ones impressed with their learned technique. Then came the moment for Michael and Ethan's duet. Father and son stepped onto the stage, both dressed in black, elegant and emotional. The music began, The Swan by Saint-Saëns. The choreography was simple but moving, portraying the bond between father and son through movement. Michael wasn't a technically perfect dancer, but he danced with his heart. His love for Ethan shone through in every gesture, every glance. When Ethan did a small jump and Michael held him in the air, spinning him gently, there wasn't a dry eye in the audience. Jennifer watched from backstage, her hands pressed to her chest. Those two had become her whole world. The performance ended with Ethan doing his solo. He had grown so much as a dancer in less than a year. But more than technique, he danced with pure joy. In the grand finale, all the children returned to the stage. Jennifer was called, and reluctantly she joined them. "A round of applause for Teacher Jennifer!" someone shouted. The theater erupted in cheers. The children hugged her. Parents waved gratefully. Jennifer looked into the audience and saw Mrs. Barbara smiling proudly, her mother wiping away tears, Michael gazing at her with so much love, her heart nearly stopped. This was more than an end-of-year recital. It was a celebration of new beginnings, conquered fears and love found in the most unexpected places. After the performance, there was a small celebration. Parents congratulated Jennifer. Children ran around excitedly, still in their costumes. Teacher Jennifer, Olivia's mother, approached. "I want to apologize for what I said months ago. I was wrong. You care for these children as if they were your own." "They're all special to me," Jennifer replied simply. Emma Anderson appeared with a bouquet of flowers. "You're shining again, I'm so happy." Even Robert Anderson made a quiet appearance, leaving an envelope with Jennifer. "What's this?" "A donation for the school. No strings, no proposals. Just gratitude." Jennifer accepted it, moved. Forgiveness had the power to transform even the hardest situations. When the party ended and everyone had left, Jennifer found herself alone in the theater with Michael, Ethan, and Mrs. Barbara. "It was a perfect night," Mrs. Barbara sighed contentedly. "The best," Ethan agreed, still buzzing with energy. Jennifer began gathering scattered things, but Michael stopped her. "Leave it for tomorrow. You deserve to celebrate too." "But no buts," Mrs. Barbara said firmly. "Let's go home. I've prepared a special supper." At home, while Ethan had already fallen asleep on the couch, exhausted from the excitement, the adults talked on the porch. "Jennifer," Mrs. Barbara began, "I want you to know you've worked a miracle here." Mrs. Barbara, "No, let me speak. You brought life back into this house. For my son, for my grandson. And now you're spreading that light to other children." Michael took Jennifer's hand. "Mom's right, you're extraordinary. I just did what I love," Jennifer said, emotional. "And that's what makes you special." Mrs. Barbara stood up. "Well, I'll put Ethan to bed. You two must have a lot to talk about." Alone on the Siwan porch, Michael and Jennifer sat in comfortable silence. "You know," Michael finally said, "when I hired a housekeeper almost a year ago, I never imagined that she'd be so much trouble," Jennifer teased, "that she'd change our lives completely." Michael grew serious. "Jennifer, I love you." The words hung in the air. "I love you too," Jennifer replied, her eyes brimming with tears. "I love you. I love Ethan. I love the family you've let me be part of." Michael pulled her into his arms. "Then stay, forever, marry me." Jennifer pulled back, surprised. "Michael?" He took a small box from his pocket. "I was going to wait, do something more elaborate. But after today, seeing you with the children, seeing Ethan so happy, I can't wait any longer." He opened the box, revealing a delicate ring with a blue sapphire. "It's the color of your eyes when you dance," he explained. "Jennifer Wilson, will you marry me? Be Ethan's official mother, my partner in everything." Jennifer was openly crying now. "Yes, 1,000 times yes." Michael slid the ring onto her finger with trembling hands. Then he kissed her, a kiss that promised futures, that sealed destinies, that celebrated love found. "Are you getting married?" Ethan appeared at the door, wide awake. The two laughed. "Pretending to sleep, huh?" Michael picked up his son. "I knew it! I knew it!" Ethan hugged them. "Jennifer's going to be my real mom." "If you want," Jennifer said carefully. "Of course I do." Ethan hugged her tight. "You're already my mom." "In my heart." The three embraced, tears and laughter mingling. Mrs. Barbara appeared unsurprised. "Finally, I already have a wedding checklist." "Mom," Michael protested. "What? A grandmother needs to be prepared." The news spread quickly. At the dance school, the kids were ecstatic. "Miss Jennifer's marrying Ethan's dad. Will there be a waltz at the wedding? Can we dance too?" Jennifer laughed at the questions. "Slow down, we're still planning." The wedding was set for spring. It would be intimate, just family and close friends, but with one special detail. "I want the kids from the school to be part of it," Jennifer proposed. "They're an important part of our story." "Perfect," Michael agreed. "Ethan can lead a performance." "Me? Really?" The boy jumped with joy. The preparations brought new energy to everyone. Jennifer divided her time between the school, wedding plans, and family moments. One afternoon, while picking flowers with Mrs. Barbara, Jennifer felt a sudden doubt. What if I'm not a good mom to Ethan? What if I don't know how to be a wife?" Mrs. Barbara took her hands. "Dear, you're already his mom in every way that matters. And as for being a wife, just keep being yourself. It's who you are that won my son over." "I'm afraid of disappointing Catherine somehow," Jennifer confessed. "Catherine would be happy," Mrs. Barbara assured. "Happy that Michael found love again, that Ethan has such a devoted mother. She'd choose you herself if she could." The words comforted Jennifer. She wasn't replacing Catherine. She was building something new on the love that was already there. The wedding day dawned radiant. The ceremony would be in the mansion's garden, decorated with white flowers and satin ribbons dancing in the wind. Jennifer looked stunning in a simple yet elegant dress that allowed movement. She was still a dancer, after all. "You're beautiful, my dear." Mrs. Patricia adjusted the veil. "Your happiness lights up everything." "Thank you for everything, Mom, for supporting me even when you didn't understand my choices. That's what mothers do, love first, understand later." Ethan entered the room, impeccable in his little suit. "Jennifer, you look like a princess." "And you, my prince," she hugged him. "Ready to walk me down the aisle?" "So, ready," he offered his arm. Yes, it would be Ethan who gave her away. It felt right, since he was the one who brought them together. The wedding march began, played live by a string quartet. The school's children formed an aisle, tossing rose petals. Michael waited at the end, moved. Beside him, Mrs. Barbara held a portrait of Catherine. She was part of this moment too. When Jennifer and Ethan reached the altar, the boy said loudly, "Dad, take good care of her. Jennifer, take good care of him. And I'll take care of both." Tearful laughter rippled through the guests. The ceremony was simple and touching. When it was time for vows, Michael spoke first. "Jennifer, you danced into our lives when we needed it most. You turned our house back into a home. our silence into music. I promise to be your partner in dance and in life, through easy steps and hard ones. I promise to love and support your dreams as you've supported ours." Jennifer wiped her tears before replying, "Michael, you and Ethan gave me more than a job. You gave me purpose, family, love. I promise to love you both with all my heart, to be a mother, a wife, and a companion. I promise our home will always have music, dance, and joy. I promise to honor the past while we build our future." "Ethan wants to speak too," the boy announced. Improvised but perfect, Ethan said, "Jennifer, I promise to be a good son, keep working hard in ballet, and help with the kids at school. And I promise to always remind everyone that dancing is telling stories with your heart." There wasn't a dry eye in the room. When Michael and Jennifer kissed, sealing their union, rose petals fell from the sky, courtesy of the children positioned on the balcony. The reception was held in the house's hall, transformed into a dance floor. The newlyweds' first dance was to the tune of Swan Lake, where it all began. Michael led Jennifer with the grace he'd learned in his lessons. They twirled around, the room as if they were the only ones there. "Not bad for a businessman," Jennifer teased. "I had an excellent teacher," Michael spun her, "who just happens to be my wife now." "I like how that sounds." Ethan joined them mid-song, and the three danced together, a family finally complete. The celebration continued with performances by the school's children. Each class had prepared something special. It was beautiful to see how dance brought together people of different ages and backgrounds. Emma Anderson gave an emotional toast. "Jennifer taught me that falling is part of dancing. What matters is how we get back up. Today, we're not just celebrating a wedding, but the victory of someone who knew how to rise and help others do the same." Diana Thompson also spoke. "I've seen Jennifer shine on stages around the world, but I've never seen her as radiant as she is now, teaching with love, building a family with courage. Michael and Ethan, you've gained a treasure." When it was time to toss the bouquet, Jennifer aimed straight at her most dedicated assistant, a teenager who dreamed of opening her own school one day. "Your moment will come," Jennifer whispered as she handed her the flowers. The night went on with dancing, laughter, and tears of joy. Mrs. Barbara danced with her grandson, proud of the family she'd helped rebuild. "Grandma, you're the best." Ethan hugged her. "You too, my love. Now go, dance with your mother." Ethan ran to Jennifer. "Mom, dance with me." Jennifer froze. It was the first time he'd called her that so naturally. "Always, my son." They danced a simple waltz, Ethan occasionally stepping on her feet, both laughing. Michael watched them, his heart full. He picked up Catherine's portrait from a special table. "We did it, love. Our boy is happy again. We found someone special to walk with us. Thank you for approving from above." As if in response, a gentle breeze made the curtains sway. The party lasted late. When the last guests left, the new Reynolds family found themselves alone in the decorated hall. "It was perfect," Jennifer sighed, tired but happy. "You're perfect," Michael kissed her. "You." Ethan covered his eyes, making everyone laugh. "Come on, dancer." Mrs. Barbara took his hand. "Bedtime, your parents need rest." "Good night, Mum, good night, Dad." Ethan kissed them both. Finally alone, Michael and Jennifer danced one more song, unhurried, with no audience. "Mrs. Reynolds," Michael murmured. "I like how that sounds." "Me too, Mr. Reynolds." Jennifer rested her head on his shoulder. "Thank you." "For what?" "For not giving up, for giving me time, for showing me second chances exist." "Thank you," Michael replied, "for saying yes, for choosing us, for bringing dance and love back into our lives." They stood there, holding each other as soft music filled the air. Outside, the stars shone over New York, witnesses to a love born from an unlikely meeting. Jennifer Wilson had entered that house as an employee. Now she was Jennifer Reynolds, wife, mother, teacher. But above all, she was a woman who dared to dance again, who turned fear into courage, who taught and learned that love, like dance, demands surrender, trust, and the willingness to take every step with an open heart. The music played on through the night, and they danced, as they would dance for all the days to come, together in harmony, writing with their movements the most beautiful of stories. The end of the story. Dear listener, I hope you were moved by Jennifer, Michael, and Ethan's journey. Can love truly blossom in the most unexpected places? Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know if you also believe in second chances. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more heartwarming stories.